Hi everyone, my name is Jaden Deal, and my informative speech today is on the War for Art, behind the scenes of the Second World War. So World War II was a major historical event for multiple reasons, but it also nearly led to the destruction of history as we know it in the modern era. One major goal of the Nazi Party that is often overlooked when compared to their other heinous actions was their campaign to gather and burn influential historical works. They saw the need to hinder free thought and destroy materials that may promote creative thinking, filtering into Hitler's goals of collectivism and shared genealogy. To explain these struggles, I have compiled real-life stories and examples to show how this hidden battle took place and how it ended. In this speech, you will be informed of the Nazis' mission to destroy and burn major historical works of art and literature, as well as the efforts taken to prevent their destruction. To introduce the story, we should first focus on the Nazis' pursuit of destruction and why they wanted to get rid of art in the first place. Some people find it very interesting that Hitler wanted to destroy art considering his past as an artist. Anne Rothfeld from the National Archives helps to explain this pursuit of destruction, citing a distaste for the Weimar Republic, which previously held power and was well known for its Renaissance-like effect on German culture. Artistic pursuits did not meet Hitler's plan for engineering and political prowess over other nations in Europe, so it was cut entirely and all traces were to be destroyed. In response to this, the Allied powers made their own special forces teams that were built around preserving these works of art and taking them out of areas impacted by the war. Saving Mona Lisa by Gary Schnell is perhaps one of the best-known sources of information on this event as it occurred, providing an interesting account of the pillaging and efforts to stop it. This is the foremost work depicting the Special Forces teams that were assembled with the sole purpose of protecting and stowing artworks away for shipment back to America, where they would be kept safe from the Nazis' expansion in Europe. Providing a closed-home example of this, the Biltmore Estate is in Asheville, North Carolina, was a safe haven used by the Allied forces for fine art. Starting in the year 1942, 62 paintings, 17 sculptures from the National Art Gallery of Art were carried into the home and placed in the music room. These extra efforts were made to protect art even in the United States, as people had an increasing fear that efforts would be made to defile and destroy these artworks. Their effort at the time only adds to the already incredible history of the Biltmore Estate. To show the impact of this, I have compiled statistics in how much art was destroyed and how much art was saved on this topic that help drive home the previous points. A guide published by the Westport Library helps to elaborate on the specific dates and number of pieces that were pursued in Hitler's efforts. In 1937, Hitler confiscated 20,000 works of art, and likely many more that we do not know of, to be sold off and raise money for the government. In 1939, 5,000 of these works were burned in Berlin's firehouse as they were deemed useless or degenerate. Over Hitler's reign, hundreds of thousands of works were taken and stowed away by the Nazi Party, many of which we were not able to recover, though the loss of so many cultural artifacts is still immense. To tie this all together, we can take a step back and look at how these events impacted the world around us at a time and into the modern era. Hitler and the Nazi Party's goal to get rid of art and literature stemmed from their hatred of diversity and desire for uniformity. To combat their efforts and preserve these cultural artifacts, the Allied forces made great efforts to safeguard and preserve them regardless of the great cost. The stories and impacts of those who lived and died in these efforts will live on in the movies, books, and speeches that glorify their valiant efforts. Thank you.